Good evening, everyone. I thought it might be an idea if I started talking about the vexed subject of essays because I'm getting more and more traffic on this side of the water about what should go in the essay. Now, I sent you a Word document today, which contained a sort of example. Really, I made it all up. It's not an old student. I made it up, and you know what? The odd thing is that I rather enjoyed writing it. Because it is an interesting thing to put yourself in the mind of somebody else that you disagree with and try and give their thoughts a bit of credibility. So basically, let's look at what it is that I sent you today, where a nurse thinks that a patient should be put on a care of the dying pathway, but sister disagrees. Well, what have we got there? Well, we've got nurse advocacy, haven't we? You know, we've got the limits to reasonable treatment. There are the limits to treatment. There are. At what point do we say? Enough's enough? Now, I deliberately set that up today. The new staff nurse versus sister. The way I didn't want to set it up was the sister versus the doctor, because that's an old debate, isn't it? We always accuse doctors of kind of lingering on too long. I thought it'd be an interesting idea to make this tension between two nurses. But basically, you can have any type of disagreement that you want. It doesn't even have to be clinical, you know? You can talk about the last student, the experimental student on this module. She had a really interesting idea for this. The way she set it up was that she was the junior doctor and she was about to explain to a patient with chest pain that they had to go to the tertiary centre for angioplasty. And the patient said to the doctor, well, I don't think I should be getting sent for surgery. Why can't I just have some of those clot-busting drugs that I've heard about in the paper? It's because of the cuts, isn't it? You're offering me a second-class service because of the cuts. So out of that came a really interesting examining the evidence for primary angioplasty. You know, the process of consent gathering, all of that's included. Now, the point I'm trying to make here, in a not very good actually, now that I think about it, the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a conflict, there are several different aspects to the conflict. And for this essay, you can choose whichever you want. Pick out the themes of the essay. So in effect, what you can do is decide what themes you want to discuss in your essay, and then choose the argument to fit it. Now let's just talk about the essay itself. I'm going to send you a link to a website which gives an interesting perspectives on essay writing. It's done by a media studies department, but essays are essays. You know, you're going to write one in health, you're going to write one in media studies. They all need to have the same sort of structure, and it gives some really interesting ideas which I like. But this is a basic essay that we're talking about here: introduction, main body, and conclusion. In the introduction, raise the subject that you're going to talk about, why it's of interest, why it's come to your attention, why this is a subject that should be discussed at all. Then in the main body, talk about any public policy issues, any law and ethics, if there's any notable research that needs to be raised. That's going to be where your main discussion lies. Then at the end, you got your conclusion where you're rounding everything up. Now, can I say this at the outset? Number one, analysis gets you more marks than description. Please do not just describe what it is that you do. I'm looking for argument. I'm looking for debate. One of the reasons why it was me that chose it, the narratives, arguments should start the essay, was an attempt to force you into argument so that you couldn't really avoid it in the way that the thing was structured. I want argument. I want debate. I want the clash of ideas. That'll get you marks. Number 2, send me drafts. Don't just write it and let me see it the first time when you're handing it in. No, 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 no. Send me drafts. Number 3, read what you've done. Read it again. Read it again. You can tell a student who's read their work again, clear as a bell. The editing looks slick and professional. You can tell when someone's handed work in that they've not reread. It's full of mistakes. It's full of grammatical errors that no person would ever say in a face-to-face conversation. Make sure that your references are correctly listed. It's the one objective thing in the essay. It's the part of the essay that I read first. Why is that? Because it's either right or it's wrong. If it's all perfectly correct, it opens up the possibility for me of giving them the essay 70%. If the references aren't correct, that possibility is closed to me. Number 3. Are we up to number 3 or number 10? Can't remember. Someone out there might be a really good writer. Start thinking now about the possibility of whatever it is that you write ending up published. I'm really interested in getting students to publish their work. Why shouldn't you get the extra recognition that your work deserves? And if you do manage to get something published, the publication will be worth a damn sight more than the value of my essay. I'm trying to think of something else to say. I know. Limit your use of quotations. Some nurses seem to think that if they put enough direct quotes into an essay from another writer, that therefore in some way their essay takes some of the academic value of the thing they're quoting from. Nothing could be further from the truth. Can I say this? If you quote enough direct quotations, if you put too many direct quotations in your essay, that essay will fail. Why is that, Chris? Why could you possibly be so cruel? Because if you put too many direct quotes in, you haven't written the essay. It's as simple as that. Send me drafts. And I want to see your narratives as clearly expressed. I want to see them as sympathetically expressed as I possibly can. Now, I'm going to stop for now and I'm going to send you the link on how to write an essay. I spent 10 minutes looking on the internet for this, so it's out there. There's loads of this stuff around. It's not difficult to write an essay. The important thing is the preparation. Let's see what you come back with on that anyway. And in the next couple of weeks, maybe, possibly, you might start thinking about sending me an essay plan. Essay planning is the most important. The reason why I say that is this. You wouldn't dream of going on stage in a play and hoping that the words came to you. You'd want to know what you're going to say, where, what points, what emphasis. It's the same with essay writing. Don't start the essay not knowing where you're going to end. That doesn't work. You're bound to get lost. An essay plan is the key to success, or one of them at least. So, in the next week or so, start thinking about what it is that you're going to write. Send me an essay plan and we'll go from there. Best of luck.